Hey everyone, what's going on? Today I'm going to talk about the eighth month of being a dad. So, the eighth month went pretty well. If you watched my previous video, you know that my mother in law came to stay with us, and so she's been here for pretty much the whole month, and it's gone well so far overall. Some downsides, but she's been really helpful with my son Nicholas and taking some of the stress off of my wife, which has then had a positive impact on me. Um, Kind of realizing that my wife is maybe causing me a little bit more stress than my son overall. So it's been good because my mother-in-law has been able to support my wife as well as, help her cook and watch Nicholas. Nicholas is really moving around a lot, so you have to kind of trail him everywhere. Definitely starting to kind of pull himself up on the furniture and walk around, like balancing on the furniture. And towards the end of the month, was kind of like pushing his little toy that's sort of like a lawnmower type thing. So he's just, he's not running around yet, but he's sort of using other things to be able to get around to help his balance and get himself into trouble. And of course, he's not that good at catching himself, especially at the beginning of the month. So yeah, he's doing pretty well, but it's just a little bit of strain having to having to basically be around him all the time. And if he's not, he's very curious. So if he's not able to explore, then he just kind of gets really upset. And then when you put him on the ground, he's happy again. And when he's getting into trouble, he's happy again. But of course, it's a little bit difficult on us. So that's probably the biggest challenge of the month was him just moving around so much. And obviously, adjusting to my mother in law to some extent has been a little difficult. She obviously needs some of her own space. The room I'm in right now, if you look behind me, like that's her bed that she's sleeping on. So I haven't been able to work on my channel as much. I haven't been able to just kind of relax using this room to kind of get away from things. And so that's not been ideal, but it's an okay trade-off for me. I've also been working more hours at work, and I think my drive to provide for my family is has gone up more than I thought it would. I know for a lot of men, the kind of protect and provide instinct does kick in, but it's probably kicked in more than I thought it would. And so I think that's mostly a good thing, but it has kind of elevated my stress level just a bit. Um, Trying to be in a position where my wife does not need to work, but we're comfortable financially is a little bit difficult for me to get to right now. I work a job where my income does vary, so I can potentially work more to make more, but it's not really like guaranteed pay from week to week, which makes it a little bit difficult. The final thing I want to talk about and reflect on for the last month has been my relationship with my wife. Like I said, having my mother in law here has been helpful in some ways, but it's also been a little bit stressed and strained, maybe partly because she's been here and the dynamics of our relationship and our family have changed because of that. And also just maybe getting on each other's nerves and like the stress from Nicholas. Like I mentioned earlier, I think that him moving around, him kind of falling, potentially hitting his head, getting injured has kind of elevated both of our stress levels and like really elevated my wife's kind of anxiety and things like that. So I think we're okay, like independently. Like if we didn't have Nicholas, if my mother in law wasn't here, if we were just kind of cruising as our relationship was before, before she got pregnant and gave birth and all that stuff and all the craziness started happening, then I think we'd be in a good spot. But we're kind of going through that infancy when people say you're kind of in it and you've got the little kids. We might want another one, just to add to the craziness a little bit more. But yeah, I thought I'd just share that. It's difficult if you're kind of going through the same thing. My assumption is most people are, and from what I've heard, if you're not divorced or basically literally killing each other in that first year, you're probably doing better than most. And if you still have good moments and you're laughing and you're going on little dates here or there, then you're probably doing better than, almost anyone. So just taking the time to do that, I think that's something that I've struggled with. Obviously, I'm very focused on my son. I'm very focused on working, adjusting to being a dad in the new life, and I probably have neglected my relationship with my wife to some degree. And I'm trying to get better at that. It's not easy because there's limited time and limited energy that I have. And I am very introverted. So I think that's one of the issues is when I get tired and stressed, I just want to shut down. I just want to like be on my computer with my headphones on and blocking the world out for a couple of hours. And that's how I recharge and reset. Whereas for my wife, it's kind of the opposite. I don't know if she technically would be considered extroverted, but she certainly likes being around people and she likes being comforted. And when she is tired and stressed, she just really wants to spend a lot of time with me and talk with me and is like, why don't you plan romantic things for us? Because that would make me feel better. And I'm like, because I literally have zero energy and zero desire to do anything except sit here and do nothing. So we're trying to manage that. We have not figured it out other than just trying to get through maybe the next 6 months and trying to do little romantic things along the way and spend more time together and just say we value each other because, we might kind of yell at each other one day and then hopefully you can wake up the next morning and apologize to each other and then tell the things that you're grateful for, or if you're religious, maybe read some passages from like a religious text or something like that together to just ground you and value family and don't have anxiety about nothing and just kind of suppress some of those biological instincts that we have that kind of rear up in certain situations and kind of go too wild, considering most of us have shelter in some capacity, some better than others, and basic food and water and things like that. So if you're in that position, then you're probably too anxious compared to what you need to be. So just my recommendation to other people watching this is to just take a deep breath and relax. Try to get back to some sort of normalcy, but take it incrementally and set your expectations fairly low. That, if you used to go on a date twice a week, maybe it's going to be once every other week or something like that, but try to get those in. And other than that, have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.